What's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and I'm here tonight. Don't fret, Sam has the night off doing some parenting, of course, because again, parents, come on, guys, gotta do this parenting. But anyway, tonight I'm here to talk about the latest. I don't know how to. I don't want to say HBO Max release because it's technically a theatrical release, but the latest Warner Brothers release, the latest movie to come out, Judas and the Black Messiah. Before I get started, I want to remind you guys to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button down below if you like this review, and if you like all of our other content, go ahead, go back in time, leave some likes. Well, we're not really back in time, but go check out our other videos, leave some likes down there, some comments. Definitely make sure you guys subscribe to our channel to see more content. I know just this past week there was an anime review on Spirited Away, and on Friday that just passed I did my WandaVision review. You know, I'm here every week for my WandaVision. You know, I got to check that, you know, get my reviews, get my theories. Last episode was real tight. Make sure you go check that review out. And yeah, just check out everything else on our channel. We work really hard to bring you this stuff, so I don't know, just leave some likes and comments. Again, I do remind you guys that we are live, so if you have some comments, if you've seen the movie, make sure you guys leave some comments in the live chat. We definitely do make sure to get to the comments, like interacting with you guys. That's why we're live all the time. Every week we're live doing this. So yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. This is a biopic. This is a biopic about Fred Hampton. Pretty much his, I guess you could say pretty much his final days, but it's told more so from the perspective of William O'Neill, who was the informant for the FBI, who infiltrated the Black Panther Party, and pretty much was the person that was responsible for Fred Hampton's death. So the plot synopsis here we have is: offered a plea deal by the FBI, William O'Neill infiltrates the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party to gather intelligence on Chairman Fred Hampton. This is a very well put together. I want to say that first and foremost before I really get into specifics. This is a very well put together film. I myself was very loosely educated on Fred Hampton. I knew he was a leader of the Black Panther Party. I knew that he was a very prominent Black figure. And that's about the extent that I knew, which I'm not going to necessarily blame the school system, but I kind of blame the school system. But that's also something I didn't really always look into, was the Black Panther Party. Of course, I knew like the notable names like Huey P. Newton and so on and so on and so forth. But yeah, being able to see this film and seeing how this film portrays those events and portrays that time period, it was really, it wasn't like some other biopics that I see. And I'm going to touch on the film in just a second, but I do want to get this out of the way. It wasn't like some other biopics that I see where they're kind of like, I don't know, they're not so well put together. You know what I'm saying? Like they just, you feel, and I understand the point of some of these films to feel like you're in the time to connect with what's going on. But this one kind of felt like just, I like it when films like this, when it's about somebody, when it's about a historical event, when it can be kind of more relatable to me being in modern times. And that could very well just be because these events here, nothing's new under the sun. History repeats itself. We've seen these events here kind of play out in a manner of speaking over the summer in 2020. You know, I mean, not to this extent, but in terms of the oppression of Black people and you know, just the Black Lives Matter movement and how they, you know, wanted to try to profile it as a terrorist organization, things like that. So it was really interesting. I like how this film portrayed the events and portrayed the characters and portrayed everything. So that's what the one thing I want to get out of the way. This film was directed by Shaka King. I have not seen any of his films. I'm not familiar with this director, but I can say that they did an excellent job with this film. It was written by Will Burson, Shaka King, Kenny Lucas, and Keith Lucas, which surprises me because the Lucas brothers they're a team of comedians, twin brothers. They're comedians. They do a lot of really goofy things. Their work that I've seen. So to know that they actually have pitched this idea around for a while now and have actually finally gotten it to come into fruition, it's really interesting to me. I like when I see certain people branch out into different bodies of work, and this is a very powerful piece of work. I'll say that much. It was released February 12th, which was just last Friday on HBO Max and in theaters. It was a simultaneous release. It was supposed to come out August 21st of 2020, but pandemic, so we didn't get it in theaters. On this proper date theatrically, but again, like I said, it was part of the hybrid releases of theatrical movies and HBO Max, where they come out in theaters and then they also come out on HBO Max. This did make $2.5 million at the box office, which seems like a low number, but in pandemic times, it is actually really good. And it came second. It came right behind The Croods 2, which again may not seem like a great thing, but we have to remember, like, these are really low. These are low box office numbers compared to the times of old. Yes, I said the times of old. So I'm going to chalk that up as a win. This is getting a lot of award attention, a lot of critical praise. I think I even heard it has some Oscar buzz, being up nominated for some Oscars and things like that. Some really good prestigious Academy Awards and things as such. It is rated R, but it is a very appropriate watch for the family. Especially those people of color, such as myself. I did have my daughters kind of watching it. They were kind of looking at it, not really into it, of course, because it's not anything animated or hyperactive or anything. It's more of an adult tone film. But there were certain parts, especially my oldest, that she latched on to and was kind of paying attention. Like, wow, what happened there? Wow, that's a bad man. Wow, that's not good. So it was really interesting to see that. Of course, it didn't. And I wasn't expecting it to open up a broad conversation between me and my oldest daughter. Like, she's under 10. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I was sitting there preparing myself. It's like, yeah, well, this is how things were. Like, no, it's, but just knowing that it was able to keep her attention for some time, I would consider a family watch. It is something that is an important piece of, it's portraying a very important piece of history that I am glad isn't centered around Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, just because those stories are always told, and it's come out at a great time during Black History Month, and it's also come out at a great time just, again, because of the current times that we're living in with, Black people still having to fight for their rights, still dealing with oppression, still dealing with the same things that they were dealing with. I hate to be that guy to say it, but this is a well-timed film. I hate to be the guy that says that because I think that, it's a weird statement in itself when it comes to films like these, but, fact remains. This film stars Daniel Kaluuya. I'm going to mess this guy's name up. Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton, Lakeith Stanfield playing William O'Neill, Jesse Plemons, who plays Roy Mitchell, who is the FBI agent that gets O'Neill on to being the infiltrator of the Black Panther Party. I just want to say something real quick. This Jesse Plemons, every time I see him now, he is playing a racist. He is playing like, I don't know. He's just playing. He's typecast at this point. Dominique Fishback as Deborah Johnson, who is Fred Hampton's girlfriend, and also Fred Hampton Jr.'s mother. That's who she portrays in the film. The rest of my cast list is not in front of me right now, and that is hilarious. But that's why I have technology. It has a lot of Martin Sheen's in this movie. Lil Rel Howery is in this movie. So yeah, it has a really good cast to it, and each of them really portray the role very well. I know there's some controversy. There's always controversy anytime Daniel Kaluuya. I hope I'm saying his name right. There's always some little controversy when Daniel Kaluuya plays an American Black person because he's British. There's always some type of controversy around that. There was a little bit of controversy, very, very small controversy from as far as I'm concerned, when he was cast as Fred Hampton. I don't know what that was all about, but he does a very great job at this performance. He really embodies the role. He plays it very, very well. I don't want to say convincingly, but he plays it very well. I really did enjoy his performance, and it didn't really even feel like I was watching him play the role. It felt like I was watching Fred Hampton. You know, it's like they could have had a camera there just filming everything that was happening with Fred Hampton, and that's just what it felt like. That's how good the performance was. Lakeith Stanfield always brings a fire in his performances, so I was never concerned about that. He truly captures all of the emotion and the desperation and the change that happens with William O'Neill, who I'm definitely going to talk about in just a second, as well as Fred Hampton in this movie in just a second. So when we start this movie, we open up with Lakeith Stanfield's character. Again, William O'Neill. I'm not just going to say character. I'm going to say, because these are actual people. So when William O'Neill, he's arrested in Chicago because he pretty much goes around carrying like a fake police badge and telling people like, hey, I'm an FBI agent and I'm coming here to confiscate your car, or like he'll like mess with other black people and pretty much make them think they're getting arrested or whatever. And then he does that so he can hijack their cars and pretty much have them as their own. And he even says at one point in the movie, by the time that they realize he was a real cop, it's too late. He already has their car. He already has what they go for. So he actually ends up getting caught. So that's when Roy Mitchell, he pretty much strikes a plea deal with him. He says, okay, well, how about this? If you, there are these people, the Black Panther Party, if you infiltrate them, you get me some information to help us bring them down, then I'll drop your charges right now. Like, you're facing 5 years for impersonating an officer and 1.5 years for hijacking your car. So altogether, that's 6.5 years in prison that he's offering to have dropped for him if he infiltrates the Black Panther Party and helps them incriminate and get rid of Fred Hampton. And I think at first it was just really just to get Fred Hampton in jail, get him away. You know what I'm saying? Because that was really what they wanted to do with a lot of black leaders back then. I'm not going to say, I mean, yes, they wanted to kill them. Yes, they wanted them dead for all intents and purposes. But I think for the most part, some of the goal was to put them in jail, because you even see in this movie, when they put Fred Hampton in jail, the Black Panther Party, it kind of, at least in Chicago, Illinois, it kind of falls apart. You know what I'm saying? They're able to, the police forces are able to strike on it easier. You know what I'm saying? They're able to plant more, I'm forgetting the word I'm trying to use. I don't want to say rats, but more rats. They get to plant more rats to kind of turn against each other, to kind of make it easier to bring them down from the inside. There's even one part in the movie where they end up burning down. Well, not burning down. They kind of blew it up. They blow up the Black Panther headquarters that was in Illinois. They blow it up and take it down. Like it was so easy to do that. So of course, without Fred Hampton there, and then when it happens, they send a newspaper clipping to Fred Hampton while he's in jail and says, "Hey, it's over." And he sees it. And he's distraught about that. That's his life's work. You know what I'm saying? That's what Fred Hampton. That's what his purpose was. You know what I'm saying? That was his personal purpose, to build the Black Panther Party up in Illinois and to help better the lives of Black people. Because for those of you who don't know, the Black Panther Party was actually responsible for the creation of the WIC program. They really were a community-based organization. They really focused more so on helping the youth, helping the community, bettering them, and also getting equal rights. There's and I'm going to jump around in this story because there's I can go by a simple plot, beat by beat, but there's a lot of things that happen in here that things that I didn't know happened, because like I said, I wasn't necessarily taught about all of the escapades of Fred Hampton or the escapades of the entire Black Panther Party until I was significantly older, like in my recent years of living. So a lot of this I'm trying to like recall in my head, like, okay, these are things that I learned about, but now me actually seeing it. And this is my first, I hadn't really watched a lot of films based around the Black Panther Party. No, I haven't. Crucify me if you must, but I have not watched many films based around the Black Panther Party. I'm sorry, everyone. I apologize. But I'm not sorry, really. Like, I just apologize. I'm not really sorry. Yeah, so dang it, and I made my thought. I was talking about, see, this is what happens when you lose your train of thought. But yeah, so the Black Panther with the Black Panther Party, yeah. It was a part where nope, I lost it. Doggone it. But well, while I think about that, I'll think about what I was gonna say. Let's talk about O'Neal, because this is the movie kind of focuses more so on William O'Neal, and I'm going to say his struggle, because what this movie does a good job of doing, because, and I think especially with the interview that he did in 1989 that was aired in 1990, they say all this information at the end of the film. So you know, when you get to the end of the film, they kind of give you the historical things that happened after Fred Hampton died. Like, they don't show it, they just tell it. You know what I'm saying? So, which is better that they tell it instead of show it. So they show the actual clip from the interview that William O'Neal did. They you know, they tell about some of the things that happened after Fred Hampton passed. But I'm going to talk about William O'Neal. So he did, and they kind of show the dramatization of it in the beginning, and they show the actual interview at the end. They ask him pretty much about, you know, why he did what he did. And I think to people who would have turned to that interview in 1990, which is when it aired, I think to people who would have turned to that and heard this man's story at the time, it would have been very hard, I think, I would imagine, because I haven't seen the entire interview. That matter of fact, I actually finished the movie earlier today. And so it didn't even dawn on me to actually look for the entire interview from William O'Neal. But I would imagine that sitting there in 1990, watching this man talk about how he practically infiltrated the Black Panther Party, set up Fred Hampton to be assassinated by giving him a sedative, however you're supposed to say that word, and taking all this money from the FBI and then going and running a gas station for the rest of his life, right? I can imagine that a lot of people were not willing to empathize with him, because how could you, a Black man, dare turn against another Black man who is doing nothing but trying to better the Black community and and help us achieve our goal of having equal rights? How could you turn on us? And this movie does a really good and interesting job of giving us his point of view, giving us William O'Neal's point of view, and letting us see that it wasn't always such a clear-cut decision. Because at first it seems like, all right, nah, he's a little fuck boy, like he gonna do it anyway, he ain't shit. But then you kind of see he's changed by spending time around Fred Hampton, the time that he spent around him, and the time that he spent in the Black Panther Party. You can see that it's changed him. You can see that it's changed him, and it's really evident that right when he's about to put the sedative in Fred Hampton's drink, the entire night he's looking very remorseful about it. He's like struggling with the thought. You could tell he's struggling with the thought, not sure if he wants to go through with it. And unfortunately, eventually he does go through with it, unfortunately. But it really gives you that empathy. And it's to kind of add to the punch. After the interview aired, and this was at the end of the movie, it says after the interview aired in 1990, William O'Neill ended up killing himself, like the day after the interview aired. So that kind of lends to the title. Like I said, people, I'm gonna be jumping all around with this interview because a lot of plot points that I did like, a lot of things that I think are interesting to talk about. You guys should definitely give this a watch if you have HBO Max, or if it's safe in your area to go to a local movie theater. Definitely go. It's worth the price of admission in my point of view. I'll touch on that later, but yeah, yeah, like I said, the day after the interview, he takes his life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting to see that. And then after spending time with this character in the movie, well, not this character, after spending time with this gentleman through this movie as portrayed in the film, you can see why. You can see why. And then this is why I'm saying just a few seconds ago, the title of the movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, this story, in the manner of speaking, does parallel that story in the Bible of Jesus and Judas. You know what I'm saying? Where Judas betrayed Jesus for the money and all that stuff, for his own selfish purposes. But as soon as Jesus was killed and crucified and everything, Judas practically took his own life. You know what I'm saying? It mirrors that entire story. So the title is actually very accurate to the events that happened during this time. Some of the other things that happened here, and I have it here in my notes. Talked about that. Talked about he was in prison. Yes. It was one part where it shows the speech that Fred Hampton made to the Black Panther Party when he got out of jail. Very powerful speech. And it really nailed his, because again, and these are probably things that are available on YouTube or internet to actually watch him actually speak and say these things. They're probably definitely available on YouTube. I would look it up. Like, I'm probably going to look it up after I get done with this review. But the way it's portrayed in the movie is very, very powerful. I still felt empowered by it. And what I mean by that is every word he said, even though this was an actor portraying Fred Hampton, I do think that they got the right actor to portray him, because the amount of what's the word I'm looking for? The amount of meaning, for lack of a better term, that he puts behind every sentence. You can't just act that. You have to feel it. You have to understand it. You have to know what it means, know what it meant to people in order to portray that the right way. And that's what he does. He portrayed Daniel Kaluuya portrays, I have to keep looking at the name, but he portrays this so well in that speech that he gives when he gets out of jail and stands in front of them and stands in front of the Black Panther Party and gives that speech. Is a very powerful speech. Is very I really love that part of the movie. That actually might be my favorite part of the movie right there, is him giving that speech. Very, very powerful. Some of the other things that it showed that Fred Hampton did. Again, this is just a general rundown of some of the things I thought were really good and really special about the movie, especially since this is based on actual factual. I just had to drop that rhyme, guys. But this is based on true events. So, I mean, if I go play by play in the movie, I'll be giving y'all the history lesson. You know what I'm saying? So, and for me, this was kind of like that history lesson. But there was a portion in the film where it shows how Fred Hampton, he got the Latinos, I want to say Latinos, specifically Puerto Ricans is how they said it in the film. So he basically got different races to join together. He got the whites, the Hispanics, and the blacks to join together and say, listen, we just want justice. And the Puerto Ricans, they were like, a cop came in, and an off-duty cop had killed one of their men. And to seek justice, they found the cop who did it, went and tried to turn them into the police, and nothing happened. That moment, I thought, y'all know what I thought about all last summer. All last summer, I thought about just all of that. All of that just came rushing to me at one time, and I was like, man, times really did not change. The only thing that changed is that we had social media. And just imagine the fact that they didn't have social media back then. They didn't have Facebook. They couldn't go on Twitter and tweet about it, hashtag it. They didn't have Instagram. They couldn't, black out the pictures of profiles. They didn't have that. They didn't have Snapchat filters. They didn't have TikTok videos or nothing. They didn't have that. All they had was themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like their grit, their determination to see change. And that's where I'm not really someone who watches a lot of movies like this because, like I just said, it is a stark reminder of these things are still happening today. Like this is something that just because it happened back in the 70s or back in the 60s, the 50s, whatever time period it happened in, doesn't mean it's history. No, like this is just as relevant now as it was then. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is that we have hashtags, posts, social media. You know what I'm saying? We can start text message chains about it. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't even do anything, you know? So, I mean, if it's not doing anything now, imagine how much less it did then. Matter of fact, and a lot of people, historians, Black historians, y'all watching this, y'all probably know what I'm about to get to. Just coming off of that heat right there. But when Fred Hampton was assassinated, and yes, I'm going to say the word assassinated. When Fred Hampton was assassinated, 99 shots were fired from the police officers that pretty much killed there were multiple Black Panther Party members in that in the house that Fred Hampton was in when he was assassinated. 99 shots were fired. Only one shot was fired from the Black Panther Party. And then off that one shot, they were all arrested for attempted murder. And not one cop was 99 shots. 99 shots. And the one shot that was fired in self-defense, pretty much let all the cops go free and had all these, all these Black people locked up for trying to protect themselves. It's crazy. Like this was this was and if Sam was here, she'd be saying so. If Sam was with me tonight, she'd be saying so much more. I know she's definitely upset that she couldn't hop in on this review tonight. But of course, like I said, parenting and parents first, review content creators second. But I know how much she would have to say on this, and I definitely will co-sign everything she has to say on this, which essentially is, you know what I'm saying, is the justice system has not changed. And this movie portrays that. This movie pretty much says that. The fact that Fred Hampton, he was fighting. He was fighting and wanted to encourage. Now, I will say a couple of things though, and this is where I kind of flip to the other side of the coin. Y'all gonna hate me for this probably, but there's two things in the movie that really made me see the other side of the oppression. You know what I'm saying? Like where we're the oppressed, now I get to see the side of the oppressor. You feel me? And it was the first part was when William O'Neill was having dinner. No, it wasn't. He wasn't having dinner with him. It wasn't even that. It was. I know it was the cop. Roy Mitchell. He was talking to somebody. And I think he was talking to O'Neill, and he was saying pretty much how, he was definitely talking to O'Neill. He was saying that he was saying how the KKK and the Black Panther Party are pretty much two sides of the same coin. It's like they both use violence to try to get this social justice or whatever it is that they want. It's like, but it's still wrong because you can't use terror. You can't use shortcuts to get to what you want. Now, I'm going to tell you why I resonated with that a little bit, why that kind of struck me in a way where I was like, that makes sense. I thought about that because when you look at the KKK, all right, we know what they did. We know what they wanted. And so they figured the best way to, and sensitive people, forgive me, but I'm going to say it like it is. The way to get rid of these niggers is to go in there and fucking kill them, right? And so you got on the Black Panther side, it's like, okay, well, we want this peace, but we're not afraid to go this violent route if we have to, right? So that's why I say it's kind of two sides of the same coin. However, that point is left murky and is hard to articulate when these police people are spending so much money on having infiltrators in the Black Panther Party, having all these hyped up police security out there, spending all these funds and all this stuff, having all this extra stuff going towards stopping the Black Panther Party, and then you have the KKK out there going la 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 la, kill a nigger, la 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 la, and it's just like they get a slap on the wrist. So it's hard to drive that point home with that when the two sides of the same coin, one side is nice and shiny, and the other side is kind of covered in mud. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. As much as what Roy Mitchell said makes sense, it's the actions behind the logic that don't make sense. So outside of that, there was a portion. The second part was when Fred Hampton, when he was making his speech, and he was saying, if we got to kill one pig, that's satisfaction. If we kill 2 pigs, that's good. That's great satisfaction. But if we kill all the pigs, that's extreme satisfaction. Okay, how about this? And forgive me, family of Fred Hampton, forgive me, everybody, forgive me, historians, forgive me, people who are not going to agree with me on this. But saying that in front of people, and then before that, he said, I know some cops, and I know some pigs in here listening and watching. When you say something like that, right? When that is said, it gives the police reason to list you and label you as a terrorist in a terrorist organization. Oh, he said it. I was there. He said, even though sometimes they lie, of course, boom, of course. But he's like, I was there. We were both there. We were all there. And he said that they're going to kill all the pigs. We can't let these terrorist blacks kill what they call pigs. We can't let them take our people out. We have to take them out first. You feel me? So I feel like Fred Hampton definitely kind of messed up in that. And he's even confronted about that in the movie too. They do confront, like he is confronted about that by Deborah Johnson, his girlfriend. He is confronted about that by her. But overall, I mean, this movie does, like I say, it does help you kind of sympathize with empathize with Lakeith Stanfield's character again, William O'Neill. Like I said, it was even a point where O'Neill wanted to get out. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I don't want to be infiltrating like this anymore. Like it's dangerous, it's crazy, and this guy's not even a bad guy. Like he's fighting for a good cause. Like I can't do this. I don't want to do this no more. But of course, he has to continue doing it because that's the deal he made. And if he doesn't carry through with that deal, of course, the officer already told him, like, I'll find you and you're going to jail. You're going to serve your time. Another thing about that's practically the film. I mean, the film is based on those events. Like if you know those events, if you're around during that time, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, like this film is based on those events. So it's not really much I can explain and get into detail about because these are historical events. These are things that happen. With all that said, it's just and I'm looking just through my notes to see if it's anything, because I wrote a few things down and I think I touched on everything that I wanted to touch on. Of course, with the lawsuit, the lawsuit that was filed against the FBI for Fred Hampton's assassination was only settled for $1.85 million. Of course, they wanted much more than that, but they didn't get it because, come on. And it took years. It was considered the longest civil rights case for some time, actually. I don't know what has outdone that. It's really sad that I have to say that, but for some time it was the longest running civil rights case. Of course, we all know Fred Hampton Jr. now is running the Black Panther Party Cubs. That is another thing I'm not very well educated on. But yeah, overall though, this movie runs 2 hours and 6 minutes. Like I said, it's rated R, but it's a great watch. Overall though, I think this movie, it does a great job at doing what it sets out to do. It is not all biopics are historically accurate, so to speak, because of course they change things for dramatization, blah, 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 blah. But this was a very, very good film. Like I said, it's not usually in my realm of watch a film like this. And I didn't know how emotionally I would react to it. Just of course coming off of everything that's still happening to this day, but especially everything that happened in summer 2020. I think that if this was released like when it was supposed to be released, like last August, totally different world. But then again, that things would have been drastically different if we were outside last year, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I think if this were to come out in theaters, because of course, like this was a streaming release and a theatrical release simultaneously. But I think that if it were safe for everyone to go to theaters and this was a theatrical release, just solely a theatrical release, I think that this movie would have done very, very, very good numbers in the box office. It's at 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's getting, like I said, it's getting great reviews. People are loving this movie. People are a lot of people say, man, this movie made me so angry. Just watching all this go down made me so angry. For me, it didn't make me angry. I'm gonna say that right now. It didn't make me angry, but it did make me think, and it did make me appreciate the work that Fred Hampton put in at such a young age, younger than me, put in at such a young age, and how much he was willing to sacrifice just for the betterment of his people. It was good to watch something and learn something that I wasn't very up to par knowledge-wise on. I don't really have anything I disliked about the film. I already said everything I liked about the film. I said my favorite parts. I don't have a least favorite part. Like I think this film was great. Overall, though, I will give it 4.9 out of 5 stars. Definitely 4.9 out of 5 stars. It's not that extra point to make it a 5 stars is not knocking anything, but I'm just giving it a 4.9 out of 5 stars. It was a very, very, very good movie. It wasn't too long. It didn't feel long. The pacing was right. Cinematography was great. The acting, again, extraordinary. Like I said, I know this is a film that's making a lot of people angry, but like I said, it doesn't anger me. I'm not angered watching it. I don't get angered watching it, but I can see where people do get angry. It's just for me, and I'm really fighting back being emotional right now because it's like a part of me that's like weeping tears right now. But for me, I just want the injustices against African Americans to freaking stop. Like, I just wanted to stop. I wanted to end. I wanted to be, there's a lot I can say that's too controversial for me to sit here on this platform to say that's a conversation between me and an ally to have. That's a one-on-one conversation. That's not a conversation I should broadcast to the world. But just understand that All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the clock. No, 1 minute, 30 seconds on the clock. Okay. The groups of people that are always getting prioritized over African Americans consistently and constantly changes. And right when we think we're getting justice for something, we're shown time and time again that there's no such thing as equal justice. Take, for example, the thing that happened at the top of the year in January, the storming of the Capitol. Take that as a prime example. A prime example. And I really just want to leave it at that. I got so much more to say on that, but I'm running my minute and a half is up. I'm not going to speak anymore because I feel the tears coming. I feel the emotions swelling. So I'm not going to say it. But thank you guys for tuning in. Black Lives Matter every day. Okay, just every day. Black Lives Matter. Okay. I understand everyone has a life, but come on. Black Lives Matter. Come on, bro. But again, Judas and the Black Messiah, an amazing film. Definitely give it a watch. It's on HBO Max for the next, it's on there for a month and then they take it off and it'll probably be back on sometime later in the year. But definitely make sure you guys give that a watch. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this review, make sure you leave a like down below. If you have any thoughts on this review or on this movie, make sure you drop them down in the comment section below. If you have any other suggestions for movies that we should review, definitely, again, drop them down in the comments down below. Follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are not on TikTok or Snapchat, though. I'm not that guy. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a great night, and I will be back this weekend for another review of, yup, you guessed it, WandaVision. Until then, guys, I am the revolution. Oh, y'all didn't think I was going to say it, huh? Yeah, I am the revolution. Peace.